Welcome back to the channel. I got some great and exciting videos for you today. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let's dive in.
Damn it, I went down this freaking cemetery rabbit hole. Shit. It damn blew my mind. Got me thinking why 330 million people that live in here in America. And there's only 144,000 cemeteries in America, which on average is 2,400 dead people per cemetery if everybody in America was die at once. You telling me this nation been going for 250 years and we still got room in cemeteries and there's not new cemeteries ever being built? Man, get the fuck out of here.
The world we knew may have ended in 1988 due to a sudden unexpected event, and no one noticed. This is best explained using the 1988 anomaly theory. It goes like this. In 1988, scientists were tracking unnatural weather patterns that suddenly formed above every continent. But a calamity hit, wiping out most of humanity. The universe immediately created an emergency simulation of our original planet, thrusting us into it. While the universe attempts to realign itself, people alive until 1988 are possibly the base creations. We now live in a parallel, simulated Earth. Those born in this simulation are unaware they are NPCs. The 1988 cataclysm broke the fabric of our reality. Fragmented data from original scientific logs before the anomaly helped scientists study this matrix. Memories from the originals are seeping back. People born in the simulation are addicted to 80s pop culture. The matrix is glitching, leaving the NPCs confused. Seemingly two timelines coexist, both are simulated. There are awakened people who see the unnatural changes, others do not. Now, you are of the awakened. But those who know seem to stand alone in this ever-shifting, interactive time loop, stuck in 1988. Many questions remain about our current circumstance. For example, is this what eventually caused the Mandela effect? Did awakened scientists find more answers? Where are these scientists? Were we supposed to wake up at all? More importantly, who's truly in authority here? You? Me? Or something new entirely?
Cemetery. And I thought to myself, you're right. I've never seen them open a new cemetery. It's been the same cemeteries here that's been here since we've been here. And that gotta make you think, like, what is really going on with all of these bodies? Where are all of these bodies going? Caskets and all. And I'm not talking about on a supernatural or spiritual plane. I'm talking about the physical. When you really think about it, it is no way that all of these bodies could be in these cemeteries all over. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But y'all need to check his story out. Because he might tell it a little bit better than I told it. And you might feel a little bit different hearing it from him. This shit crazy.
What if I told you graveyard?
That video 2 videos ago, I just threw in there because it was a really cool idea. Let me know what you think in the comments.
Aren't growing at the same rate as the population, and there's a reason for that. What if some aren't even being buried at all? Think about it. Billions of people are here today, and every single day, thousands more check out. We should be seeing a cemetery crisis. Graveyards should be expanding as fast as cities, but they aren't. Either that or the numbers aren't what they seem. Maybe the so-called population boom isn't as real as they want us to believe. Because if they can make you think there's not enough to go around, you'll accept whatever solutions they offer, no questions asked. Now sure, they'll tell you, we're building vertical cemeteries. More people are choosing alternative methods. Old graves get repurposed after a few decades. But even when you account for all of that, it still doesn't add up. Where are all the new cemeteries? Why don't we ever hear about them being built? And here's where it gets dark. What if some aren't even being buried at all? And let's face it, organ distribution is a billion-dollar industry. You ever notice how there's always a demand for something, yet there's never a shortage? Think about it. Research facilities are always in need of volunteers, but where exactly do they find them? The beauty and skincare world, obsessed with rejuvenation, but where are these youth-restoring ingredients coming from? And the wildest part, it doesn't stop there. Because when something isn't just valuable for science, it's valuable as a commodity. Look at the industries that never seem to struggle. Mass production, high street takeaways, fast food chains serving millions every single day. Why did you think his shoes were bright red and his lips? What do you think they really mean when they say over 1 billion served? I'm going to go ahead and say this is just a joke for entertainment purposes.
Nobody that died that you ever buried, they not in that. They not in there. They not in the ground. They're not in the ground at all. You can go dig that shit up yourself. I got $1,000 for you. You dig it up right now. I guarantee you it ain't no bones in that bitch.
At the center of a Mobile County Sheriff's Office investigation, looking into claims that bodies aren't buried where they're supposed to be, and even more shocking, the possibility that caskets have been dug up and reused. Yesterday, deputies used the ground-penetrating radar at the cemetery, but they didn't get any conclusive answers. It's unclear if there's anything under the rest of these graves here at Heritage Memorial Gardens, but investigators say there is no body under this headstone.
Or they couldn't be in the back room of a funeral home sawing up bodies.
Tonight, claims of secretly dismembering and selling body parts in the hours after a death.
The FBI is talking to people. We're talking to people. They say you betrayed their trust to make money, to sell body parts.
Tonight, a funeral home owner and her parents now under investigation by the FBI.
Chief investigative reporter Tony Kovaleski is here with the inside story. And Tony, the accusations are outlandish.
Imagine building cement processing plants next to crematoriums and railways. We grind or cook your remains into a powder and dispose of you into
All right, so this is going to be a weird one. I wasn't going to watch this video, but I did. And then once I did, it got me to thinking about another video I saw of a young lady that had asked the question, have you ever seen a new cemetery? You ever see a new cemetery pop up? You ever hear of one? I'm 46 years old. I have never in my life seen a new cemetery, and they never seem to get full. Now, you hear the thing about finding human DNA in fast food restaurant meat, and God knows what the meat's made out of, but then you hear this report about the bones and stuff. What better thing to do with them than grind them up and use them in concrete? And they're always using lots of concrete in cities where a lot of people, step away. But I don't know, just got me to thinking. It's kind of weird, stupid as hell, I guess, but it's just one of them what's on my mind things today.
It's definitely not weird. Where do the bodies go? I've never seen a new cemetery open in my lifetime. I'm 43. It's crazy. They go into our food. They go into building materials. They use them. They liquefy them and use them as pesticides and fertilizers. And so you're eating it in one form or another.
Thanks, TikTok. I'll be thinking about that now. Appreciate it.
Is this part of that investigation? Is that winding down at all yet?
It is indeed, Jeff. Take a live look behind me. This is what's left of the FBI evidence recovery team inside this car. And take a look at this vehicle. We believe this is the owner of the business just returning to take back possession of his business. More on that in a second. But take a look. Another busy day out here on Detroit's east side, just down the road from City Airport. Sources say they have removed several boxes of what is believed to be human remains. Sources say many, many people. This was a big operation. And get this, inside this business, a saw used to cut up bodies, it is believed, all taken away as evidence to the Wayne County Medical Examiner's Office where it will be tested. This business is known as International Biological. It advertised as a medical educational service provider. The owner is Art Rathburn. He has a mortician license, has had in Michigan since 1982. But the big question is, did he get human bodies illegally? And was he selling them illegally? Just moments ago, the owner, we believe, showed up. I tried to ask him some questions. Mr. Rathburn, will you talk with us? What do you have to hide, sir? Now, sources tell me the FBI is not out here on a fishing expedition. Mr. Rathburn is not charged with any crime. He is not in custody. They did search his house in Grosse Pointe Park on Wednesday as well. How could he get bodies that are not donated to science? This is shocking to the funeral home industry in Metro Detroit. We're going to have more on that part of this story next hour at 6. Jeff, Carolyn?
Well, Jim, obviously some extensive evidence gathering there. Are we just at the tip of the iceberg on this investigation, you think?
Could very well, and we're not clear on how long it's going to take to do the testing of what is believed human remains. But get this, you had a death in your family, you thought there was a burial or a cremation, and then you find out the body ended up here. Shocking, to say the least.
And then ultimately ended up in your hamburger?
Certainly so. A lot of questions.
Crazy.
For the worst. Jimbo, why don't you assist Lunch Lady Doris in the kitchen?
It's hard for me to clean this giant pot when you keep spilling meat tenderizer all over me. Oh, great. Now I gotta work in the dark.
This sandwich tastes so young and impudent. Seymour, what's with the good graft?
Well, perhaps I ought to let you folks in on a secret. You remember me telling Jimbo Jones that I'd make something of him one day?
Are you saying you killed Jimbo, processed his carcass, and served him for lunch?
It's really not funny. It's truth in plain sight. I thought it was funny when he said she kept spilling the meat tenderizer on him.
I wonder where Jimbo is today. He should have beaten us up for our lunch money an hour ago.
Oh, lunch lady, please do have another sloppy Jimbo. How's the school night?
No, that's your third helping, young man. It's making you fat and soft and tender. You just cut in line, didn't you? Reported attention odor.
For how long?
Oh, about 7 minutes a pound should do it.
Okay, I got your German grub right here.
Mark, does it strike you as odd that Uter disappeared and suddenly they're serving us this mysterious food called Uterbraten?
Oh, relax, kids. I've got a gut feeling Uter's around here somewhere. After all, isn't there a little Uter in all of us? In fact, you might even say we just ate Uter and he's in our stomachs right now. Wait, scratch that one.
Mom, you've got to help. They're cooking kids in the school cafeteria.
Listen, kids, you're 8 and 10 years old now. I can't be fighting all your battles for you.
But, Mom...
No buts. You march right back to that school, look them straight in the eye and say, "Don't eat me."
Okay.
So true. Quality meats made from people like you.
The chances of you seeing this video are so rare.
What did that look like to you?
There's 500 million users on TikTok, and you will probably never see my account again. But I'm not going to ask you to follow me. I'm not.
He wanted me to pass on these final words. I've failed as a man, but I have succeeded as an ingredient.
I call the brain.
He's gone. Well, I guess I can be proud that he succeeded at something.
Well, it's a lot more than something. Almost the biggest thing in food since free refills. Hey, you, you, How did I get so much meat out of Homer? Oh, they mixed in some Barney, comic book guy, and horse. Horse?
You know what it's like to have everyone eat of your body.
Yeah, like every Sunday, pal. You don't get more of them.
Come and take a closer look. This is a Resonator, a state-of-the-art machine for alkaline hydrolysis, also known as water cremation or aquamation. This is a form of disposition that many, many people across the world do not even know exists. I'm here to teach you everything you need to know to determine whether or not this environmentally friendly form of disposition is right for you and your loved ones.
That's where they liquefy the meat and skin, and then the bones are turned into powder, and then they use those different things. The liquid is used for pesticides, and the bones and all that is used in fertilizer. So, like I said, you're eating people one way or another.
Yes, this is true. Almost 90% of the time when I do an autopsy, I see a terrible picture. The bodies of the dead are infected with parasites, and I see them not only in the gastrointestinal tract, as many people think. Parasites often live in the lungs, heart, liver, and even the brain. Their colonies inhabit internal organs, and the larvae feed on the tissues of living people. Let me get out of the way so you can read the rest.
That is so true and disgusting, but yet they claim nobody in America has parasites in them. Because if you got rid of the parasites, you wouldn't need to go to your doctor. That's 90% of people's problems. That's your diabetes, your headaches, or migraines, or whatever. Almost that cancer. Almost every illness can be linked to some form of a parasite or another.
Where are all the dead bodies going? I made a video, 2023 actually, and it's just started getting some likes again. So I've just seen it again. It's actually quite a decent video. But it went something like this. I was driving with my daughter a couple of years ago, and we went past the graveyard, and she said, "Dad, why do graveyards never get full up?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "Well, we've been driving past the same graveyards for years, and they never seem to get full. Where do all the dead bodies go? You know, there's millions of people being born every day, and they reckon there's millions of people dying every day, but where do they go? We never see a new graveyard being built. When's the last time you saw a graveyard being built?" Now, I've got parents and family members that have sadly passed away, and you go and visit the grave. There never seems to be any new graves in the graveyard, and it's certainly not full. So I said to my daughter, "I don't know." Now, I'm sure there's some conspiracy theorists out there that would tell us that McDonald's have got contracts with hospitals, but it's a genuinely decent question, isn't it? How come you never see a new graveyard being built? And where do all the bodies go? Where are all of these people that are dying going? Or is there just maybe not as many people on the earth as you think? I saw a video yesterday, actually. It makes me think that this guy was saying there isn't 8 billion people on the earth. There's less than 100 million. I've not gone and counted them all. It's just something that we get told. So, answers in the comments. Where are all the dead people going? And have you ever seen a new graveyard being built? Y'all want to hear some shit to really blow y'all's mind this morning? So, as a side hustle, I dig graves and graveyards and cemeteries across Bowling Green and surrounding counties. Something didn't set right with me today. As I was digging, the guy that's the director of the graveyard walked up to me and he was like, "We need to lift that casket up and get it even." So we put it on a tally and brought it back up. When we brought it back up, it come off even in a way, but it was crooked in the corner. So he's like, "We got to lift it." So I lifted it, me and him together. But the weirdest thing was, it was really light, like extremely light. Like, and I'm not a big dude. So I was like, I told him, I was like, why is that so light? He was like, "Don't ask questions that you ain't ready for." Y'all, I'm freaked out. What are they doing with these bodies?
This is mind-blowing and something to think about. Do you ever think about what happens to the bodies after you leave a funeral procession? Why do I ask? Because there's a viral video that's going around where a guy explains how he allegedly believes, because of the weight of some of the caskets, that there are no bodies in them. So this gentleman right here claims that while he was on his side gig of digging graves, he's seen things that have led him to believe that there are no bodies inside the caskets. So basically, while he was digging a grave, the cemetery director walked over to him and said, "Hey, we need to dig up that grave." So he went ahead and they dug up the casket. Upon digging up the casket, it came up uneven, a little crooked, sideways is what he says, like it didn't have enough weight in it. So after that, the funeral director told him it should be lifted up manually. So they went ahead, they lifted it up manually, and that's when he felt that it wasn't heavy enough. And he said to himself, "I don't think there's a body inside this." So he basically asked, "Why is this casket so light?" The funeral director turned to him and said, "Don't ask questions that you're not ready for." One thing I want you to think about now that this story has come to light and you never thought about it, I never thought about it, there are 144,000 cemeteries across the U.S. as of 2025. One question you should be asking is, when was the last time you seen them build a new cemetery? So of course, I went and did some digging. Why haven't you seen new cemeteries being built? Here is what came up when I searched for it. Land availability. They are building like crazy all over the United States. Therefore, where are you going to put cemeteries? Increased land costs, but funerals cost an arm and a leg. Excuse the pun. Environmental concerns, alternate burial options, and grave recycling. You heard what I said. Grave recycling. There is a such thing. In some cases, cemeteries are expanding their capacity by reusing burial spaces through a practice called grave recycling. So the question remains, with so many people across the United States, people pass away every day, every minute. What's going on with the bodies? Where are they going? Are you thinking about this? Is it something that I've never thought about this until I listened to that viral video, and I'm starting to say, Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. And as always, I'd love to hear from you.
King slime, now human meat. A shocking discovery has been made in an Oklahoma City McDonald's meat factory and other McDonald's meat factories nationwide. Meat inspectors reportedly found what appeared to be human meat stored in the meat factory freezers of an Oklahoma City meat factory, and human meat already in trucks right outside the factory ready to be shipped to McDonald's restaurants. Health inspectors immediately demanded inspection in various McDonald's meat factories across the country and horrifyingly found human meat in about 90% of the factories inspected thus far. The USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, has seized McDonald's production and shipping and will call for more meat factory inspections and restaurant inspections. The FBI is also investigating the factories. FBI agent Lloyd Harrison told Hustler reporters, "The worst part is that it's not only human meat, it's child meat." The body parts that were found across the U.S. factories were deemed too small to be adult body parts. This is truly horrible. The situation brings up many unanswered questions. How long have they been using human meat? Where did they get the children from? Were they already dead when brought into factories? Investigators and inspectors are currently being deployed for intensive investigations all around the U.S. Here is another clip when earlier McDonald's was caught.
This is the production base of Husi Food Company in Shanghai, a member of the American SOI Group and supplier of meat products to major American fast food restaurants throughout China, including KFC, McDonald's, and Pizza Hut. Here are your chicken McNuggets and beef patties using either a Big Mac or layered beef burger from KFC. But an undercover reporter's discovery may cause the food giants to lose more than a few customers in China.
Beef is long past its due date. I never worked at a food processing plant before, so I didn't know better. But now if I went to a KFC or McDonald's restaurant, it wouldn't taste the same.
Here the footage shows workers apparently dumping already made but unused beef patties back onto the production belt along with raw beef. And here, defective chicken nuggets are picked out, but only to be collected and put back onto the production line along with raw chicken. The reporter allegedly obtained proof showing that the violations are systemic, rather than just limited to a few employees. Here's what appears to be a company email that was sent this past June, asking production workers to use beef that expired in November.
They took samples from California and found that human and rat DNA were found in burgers and other products. This report was put out by Clear Lab, and scientists did say that in fact they found human DNA and rat DNA, and other discrepancies were found in most, if not all, of the burgers that they tested. They tested 258 samples from 79 brands and 22 retailers from retailers and fast food chains in Northern California. But of course, these are food chains all around the world. It's not just California, but this is where they took samples from. They used something called NGS, which is next generation genomic sequencing. Other tests, and they also screen for authenticity, minor substitution, contamination, gluten, fungi, toxic plants, and other allergens. Out of all of those 258 samples, Clear Lab says human DNA was found in one vegetarian burger, other burgers, and rat DNA was found in most of the fast food burgers, and even a vegetarian had ground human meat or something of the sort. Makes you wonder about that KFC advert. I am telling you, do not eat fast food meat. Remember how those Impossible burgers came out? Wasn't shit impossible. But yeah, I just thought I would drop that knowledge on you for the day. Okay.
Well, that's all the videos I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed them. And if it didn't make you think, it made me think. I haven't seen a new cemetery in my entire life, so where do the bodies go? I mean, are we really eating people? Are they in the herbicides? Are they in the fertilizer? Are they in the beef and the chicken? Are they in the cement that we use to make new buildings and roads? Are they ground up and put in the sugar? Is that why sugar's so addictive, or caffeine, or any of this stuff? A lot of good questions out there. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.